Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're taking a look at another spinner today. Just got it in the mail. I'm actually going to open it right now. This is a spinner, if you read the description. It's the Dapper spinner from Kepler Technologies, which is sold by a couple companies, including Spinetic Spinners. And if you're in the spinner market, you'll be pretty familiar with Spinetic and the products that they provide. So, comes in a nice tin like that. I got mine in stainless steel because that was the only one that was in stock. They always include a very nice business card. So that's their card with their logos. Josh Young, excellent guy. That's their information. You can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. They've even got like a phone number and all that good stuff on there. And this is probably the purchase order. Yep, all that good stuff. Nothing else in there. So here's the spinner. Pretty basic tin. On the back it just says choking hazard. This toy has small parts such as the ball bearing. It is not for use by children under 3 years old. Avoid using this product near your eyes. Do not throw the product. If there are any issues with the product, please contact us right away at Kepler.HK. And surprisingly, it's made in China. So this is another Chinese spinner. It's not. I don't think it's a clone of anything. I just think that's just the manufacturer. There's certainly a lot of clones in the market here, but I don't believe this is a clone of anything just yet. So they give you an extra button for the ball bearing. A little plastic bag it comes in. Oh, that's kind of nice. So that's the bearing there. I don't know if you get it. It'll get a nice zoom on it because it's kind of shiny. This just is the manufactured by Kepler Technologies, as my co-host joins me. And then this side kind of has the Kepler Technologies logo. But something that you can't really tell in the video, which is why I do my videos, is this is actually textured. So it's printed or etched or something like that in here. So this actually has like almost like a really hot, get your butt out of here, almost like a sandpaper-like feel to it because it's, you know, sort of padded in here. So that's the extra button that they include, which is nice if you decide to, you know, maybe replace it, or certainly the buttons wear down over time as you use the product. And then you've got the spinner itself. So it goes after the classic bow tie design. Obviously, that's not too hard to see. You've got the buttons that are already on there. You can certainly remove the bearing and everything in there. It uses a R188 bearing. It's got a pretty good weight to it for stainless steel. Stainless steel, oddly, is the most expensive, which I wouldn't consider how that is. Normally, other precious metals like brass or copper, which this is also available in, is a little bit more expensive. This one's most expensive at $29.99, so right about 30 bucks. With shipping, you're looking at like 35, depending on what shipping option you look for and where you're located. The copper version is $27.99, and the brass, let me look here, is $24.99. So brass is the cheapest, then copper, then stainless steel. They all weigh a little bit different. Let me go to the stainless steel one. Currently, they're all out of stock. I was very surprised I could get one. So stainless steel frame and finger pads. I guess it's a little bit lighter than I thought, but stainless steel, it's what stainless steel would feel like. R188 bearing. Main bearing material is steel. The weight is 54.4 grams, so it's very middle of the road. Certainly not too terribly smooth when moving the spinner, but I wouldn't expect it to be. The size in millimeters is 58 long by 22, and then it's just under 12 deep, and I assume that's at the thickest point. So something you really always can't tell from the pictures on the website is just how shiny this section is. So up here where you have the raised portion of the spinner where there's some lines cut into that, which is actually kind of sharp, surprisingly sharp. The body is actually a brushed stainless steel, so you can kind of has that sort of look to it. Rather, the accents, the counterweights that are here on the side, really doesn't have much. It's polished, so really nice looking. The finger buttons also polished, if my focus will cooperate with me, and they estimate 3.5 minutes out of the box. So we will certainly test that. Let me. Kind of makes a weird noise when you spin it. I've never really heard that before. Because the button was loose there. Alrighty. Let me get my phone out real quick. We'll time this. I'll do a one-handed spin and a two-handed spin like I do in most of my videos, and we'll go from there. Nothing else in the box. Pretty stock packaging. I've also looked at the Infinity spinner. Awesome spinner. Inexpensive Amazon, Chinese knockoff. Go look at that one. Also comes in a tin. Also comes in a very similar tin. Nomad spinners. Even has the same message on the box, made from China. All that good stuff. Another Amazon spinner. Very good deal. Stopwatch. Last spinner. I only ever time my spinners on this. It's kind of hard to see because it doesn't want to focus on that. But just under 5 minutes was the last time we spun that. So we'll do a one-handed spin, then a two-handed spin. So have everybody's day going. I don't know if that was really a great spin there. It feels good. The weight is what you'd expect. I think that the brass and copper, being that they're heavy metals, will certainly get a little bit more spin time. I've seen people get 5.5 minutes out of the box, no cleaning the bearing or anything like that. I don't really clean my bearings. I'm lazy, so I don't really spend too much time doing this. Yeah, I don't see this getting a 3.5 minute spin. Maybe a two-handed spin, but maybe not this one. So we'll take a look at this. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other spinners that I have on there. I've got like 9 spinners now, and I pick up another one weekly or bi-weekly sometimes. So you'll see some new videos on here. So we're just passing the 1 minute mark. It's going pretty smooth. Trying to move as little as I can. Me personally, I like to fidget with my fidget spinners. I don't really care about, long spinning spinners, or it spins for 17 minutes, or this one spins for, 39. It doesn't really matter to me. It's nice to get a good spin time, but really anything over like 2 minutes is fine with me. So even if I do want to spin, my attention span's really not going to sit at this thing for more than 2 minutes anyhow. So I'm fine with that. So we're approaching the 2 minute mark here. It's kind of starting to slow down. There's definitely some good spin to it. It's not glass like my Infinity spinner and some of my Noble Spin Virtu spinners are like glass when you spin them. This, you can kind of feel there's something going on in the bearing there. It's not completely perfect. It's not bad, but it's not like glass like some of the other spinners. So this is pretty nice. I don't have too many spinners with an R188 bearing. I've got a lot of bearings like 608 bearings or 606 bearings, but not a bearing this small. So it's interesting to see that. But I know a lot of people are going this route because obviously it's a smaller bearing. You get pretty good spin times, and it's certainly cheaper than some other, cuts down on cost. So coming to the end here. Probably still spin for like 3 minutes now. Okay, so I'll give it that. So we're looking at like 2 minutes 41 seconds. I'll do a quick two-handed spin, and that'll be it, guys. Really great spinner. Love everything about this. Super simple, very fast shipping. Between 3 and 5 days for the cheap shipping. With a slightly more expensive version of the shipping, it'll be here in 2 days, and that's what mine was. Mine was 2 days. So I really enjoy the accents, really enjoy the different types of metal, not different types of metal, but different polished metals that they use. The only complaint that I might have is the like slightly sharp raised edges here in the counterweight like bow tie section. Still a really, really nice spinner. That's really the only complaint that I've heard about this. Was that a lot of people, said, oh, button's too sharp or whatever, and it's like, it's certainly not a deal breaker for me. But something to mention. Buttons are really, really nice though. I mean, you can definitely play with the buttons just themselves. And it's really nice that they have that super, super cool feel to them. So let me do a quick 2-minute spin here, and we'll end the video at that. A little bit of noise in the bearing, but I think that's to be expected. Again, really hard to find a dead silent spinner, and even if you do find a super silent spinner, like the Infinity spinner that I used to have, it was silent for probably a week, 2 weeks, and bearing started to get dirty, and it would make some goofy noises, and it really wasn't the same. I did have actually wind up cleaning that one, and it turned out to be better, but it was a much different experience after a week. So what I usually do is I'll get these spinners in, we'll do an unboxing review like we're doing right now. I'll come back, we'll take a look at the spinner again in a couple of weeks, talk about durability, how it's holding up, is it still my everyday in my pocket spinner, or did I move to something else? And so I always do that follow-up just to keep everybody involved, like, because the spinner can certainly change from weeks or months of use, not necessarily for the worse, but sometimes for the better, because bearings certainly have a break-in time, so that's something to consider. So we'll take a look at this, see how this does. So we're already a minute and a half. I think this will probably get 3.5 minutes, which again, completely fine. It's not a very heavy spinner. It's not made out of like some super exotic tungsten, metal or something like that. But I would like to see a tungsten spinner. That'd be cool. And so I don't expect the spin time to be super high. 3.5 minutes, I'd be impressed. So that's 2 minutes right there. Worst part about this is my arm just gets tired after holding this thing up in the air as still as I can for like 2 minutes. Okay, that's 3 minutes. One thing I do like about this spinner, it's probably the last thing I say, was you can get the spinner going pretty quick. There's some spinners that are awfully heavy, and you can flick them and spin them as hard as you want, but it never feels like they're really moving fast. You've got some other lightweight spinners like this one, or a Bastion spinner from bastiongear.com, and you give those things the tiniest flick, and they just fly. Definitely not long spinners, obviously, because they're lightweight, but really entertaining spinner for an everyday spinner. My Bastion spinner really wasn't my favorite. I did have to fix it out of the box. You can see that in my review because it's kind of funny. It only spun for like 12 seconds out of the box, and I was getting ready to return. I was like, oh, it just got goofed up in shipping. So I wound up repairing that one, and that one was my everyday spinner for a really long time. And then I started buying more and more and more, and now I kind of rotate because I've got all these awesome spinners. to look at. Okay, so this one spun for slightly longer. We're coming up on 5 minutes right now. I've seen people get 5.5 minutes out of the box. My arm's getting ready to fall off. And it'd be nice to see like a 5.5 minute one, but I don't think so. There's a review by Speedy Tech Solutions. He's got a ton of spinner reviews. Cool guy, very precise, you know, decent little film setup and other things like that. But I feel like a lot of people that send him spinners send him like these flawless best of the bunch spinners, and he gets like, oh yeah, this one's like 13 minutes out of the box. But then you go on their website and they're like, it'll spin for between 60 and 90 seconds. So it's kind of funny because they on their page, on Spinners.com page, if you go to this one from Kepler Technologies, you'll see it only spins for 3.5 minutes. But his video, it's like, oh, it's like a 9.5 minute spin, man. All right, so that right there, still kind of going. All right, we'll count it there. That was 5 minutes and 40 seconds. So that's pretty darn good out of the box like that. So I'm certainly impressed with this spinner. It's got really good balance to it. If you drop it like that, it'll probably break. Good balance to it. I mean, super easy design. There's certainly benefits to the triple design versus the double design. You can kind of feel those sharp edges now that I'm like spinning it here. It's also like it's kind of hard to like get that good position because it'll like scratch your finger right here if you're spinning it, because your finger always doesn't hit the end here perfectly. You sometimes get like a little bit of the corner, and that corner is honestly what's sharp. So if you've got that one-handed spin like that, and you really give it a good rip like that, you'll either knock it out of your hand because it won't be perfect. Like your finger will get like stuck like here on the side, and you'll like want to like rip it out of your hand. So the length is kind of odd. Now I'm sure this is going to be different for everybody, but yeah, it's definitely different. It has a little bit of you know, something to get used to, but it's a nice spinner. I like it. Very little wobble. There really isn't any wobble unless you're, you know, moving it around a little bit. And just a faint bit of wobble there. But other than that, really good spinner. Slightly longer video than I wanted it to be. It's coming up on 18 minutes. So thanks for hanging around, guys. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Questions and comments. Anything I missed, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be around to answer it to the best of my ability. And if you did make it to the end of the video, leave a comment. I'm curious to see how many people actually made it to the end of the video. So if you did, you want to leave a comment, that's great, because that gives me an idea of how many of my viewers watch this for a little bit more than 30 seconds before they get bored of me. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for hanging around, and we'll see you in the next one.